Shri Jayant Sahsrabudhe sir, National Organizing Secretary Vijnana Bharti, is now invited for the introductory remarks.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and students who are present in this August gathering along with their parents and teachers. At first, I extend my greetings to all of you as we are all celebrating 75th year of Swatantrata in our country. In coming 15th of August, we will be completing the 75th year and we will be entering the 76th year of our independence. So it's a great moment for all of us. Generally speaking, people think that freedom struggle that was carried out in our country was mainly political or social in nature. But that is not the truth. This freedom struggle was carried out in every walk of life in our country, and science was not at all an exception. But generally, people do not have that kind of awareness in our country. Actually, if we look at all invaders who invaded our country, not only British people, if we look at them, you will find a great difference between British invasion and all other previous invasions. What is the difference? The goal was same. The difference was in tool and methodology. What Britishers administered was a tool called as science. And the methodology to subjugate our country was scientific in nature. We need to understand this fact. There is a great scientist and his paper which has come out with a great study which he did in his lifetime. Unfortunately, that scientist is no more with us. 5 months ago he died, and his name was Dr. Rajesh Kochar. He was an astrophysicist, but he did research work in the recent history of our country, especially during British days. And he wrote a research paper based on his studies, and the title of that research paper itself tells us about the story of British invasion. The title of that research paper is like this: Science Utilized as a Tool to Consolidate Colonial Power in India. And he has given umpteen number of examples to prove his logic. And he has given all sort of examples to say that how British people use science as a tool, and all their methods were based on science. Having understood this, we started revisiting the freedom struggle, especially in the era of British rule. And we find that all great scientists of our country, what they did, they could understand the game plan of British people, the design of British people to subjugate this country, and they thought of equipping themselves with the same tool which British had in their hand. It was science. Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar, who established first Swadeshi scientific institution in our country, he had a great dream in his mind. He established this institution in 1876 that is called as Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science at Kolkata, where all our first, second, third generation scientists studied science, because at that point of time there was no facility in India to study science. No Indian was allowed to study science, and there was no Indian teacher to teach science. He was the one who initiated this kind of facility, and from this institution all first generation scientists of our country, they emerged. Acharya Jagdish Chandra Basu, followed by Acharya Prafulla Chandra Ray, their students Meghnad Saha, Satyendra Nath Bose, and the only Nobel Prize which we could win, an Indian could win, came from the same laboratory, and it was none other than Dr. C.V. Raman. He went to Kolkata as a clerk in AG's office, and Dr. Ashutosh Mukherjee, who was then the president of ISCS, he identified him and invited him to be a researcher in this IACS in 1917. And within next 11 years, in 1928, he declared his discovery, for which he received a Nobel Prize in 1930, and he was the first non-white person to receive a Nobel Prize in the domain of science. And he was a great patriot. All these people, all these scientists, they challenged British hegemony over here with a tool, a new-born tool that is called as science. And they fought a great war against British rule because British people, they had great injustice in this land on Indians, and they were having a great racial discrimination too. So, British supremacy was reigning high in those days, and our own people challenged that British intellectual hegemony with a tool called as science. So all these people, along with many others, like Swami Vivekananda, Sister Nivedita, Jamshedji Tata, Lokmanya Tilak, Madan Mohan Malviya, all they rallied together and they started establishing scientific institutions in our country. And we are fortunate enough because in last 75 years, we had prideful achievements in the field of science and technology, and all those achievements could be achieved because the foundation was laid down during those adverse conditions when our all scientists were fighting against the British rule. So, this celebration of 75th year of independence has given us an opportunity to revisit our scientific struggle which was carried out by our scientists in those days, and it is a great opportunity to pay tributes along with all other freedom fighters to our great scientists. Vijnana Bharti, when we had a discussion with Ministry of Culture, because they have been given a responsibility by Government of India to initiate and coordinate these celebrations, and as per the celebrations norms, they are announcing every day that what has happened during freedom struggle on this particular day. Everywhere, in all flights, in all railway stations, even on Akashvani, they do declare all these things. So we suggested that why can't we celebrate scientists, freedom fighters in our country? So we are having, or we have submitted a list of 22 such dignitaries in the domain of science, and we are celebrating all these dignitaries specifically on their birthdays in different parts of our country. So this is the second program in that series. First one was on 2nd of August. That is the birthday of Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai, who is known as father of Indian chemistry in modern era. So this is the second one. Next one will be Sir Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya. That will be on 15th of September. That is recognized as a National Engineers Day. Likewise, we are going to have series of programs across the country to pay tributes to our great scientists who were freedom fighters, because of whom we could achieve freedom in 1947. So this is a great opportunity for all of us, and here we have gathered to pay tributes to all of them. But today we are specifically gathered over here to celebrate the birthday of Vikram Sarabhai. And all of us know he is a great dreamer who could think about bringing space science in our country, and we know that how we are far ahead in this domain across the globe. And all those who are sitting on the dais, they are the leaders of our space program. So along with them, we are going to celebrate Dr. Vikram Sarabhai's birthday, and he was a great patriot. His own mother and younger sister were jailed during the freedom struggle because they were participating in the Chodo Bharat Andolan initiated by Mahatma Gandhiji, and which kick-started on 9th of August in 1942 from Mumbai. So he belonged to that great patriotic family. So he was nurtured by that parents, Ambalalji and Sarla Ben, who nurtured Vikram Sarabhai's mind, and because of those patriotic feelings in his mind, he could done great service to our motherland, bringing in space science to our country. So this is a great opportunity to all of us to pay tributes to the memory of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. So let us join hands together to celebrate on this particular day. And this is not the only function. We are thinking of having series of functions on Vikram Sarabhai across the country, so that people will know more and more about all these great scientists. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for giving a brief introduction of the program.